This is another Beatles fan, and you know what? The world's kind of going to shit at the moment, so why not talk and rant a little bit about Wings at the Speed of Sound? This is an album by, of course, Wings that and Paul McCartney that I didn't give much thought, and that's a bit weird considering I've been a huge Wings fan for quite some time now, and this is the final album before they did Wings Over America, which is maybe my favorite live album of all time. I also love Rock Show. I got the Blu-ray. So there's much to love about this Wings formation. But at the same time though, I think alright, let's talk about Wings in its first formative phase, which is the Wildlife, Red Rose Speedway, and One Hand Clapping phase. That felt very much like a Paul McCartney and Wings. And it's got a bit of a charm of an early band that doesn't really know what it's doing. And of course, Band on the Run blows everything out of the water. It's extraordinary, really. It's Paul just being the genius he is. But after that, he recruits new people, and that would be Gene McCulloch, Joe English. There's another drummer before Joe English, which I forgot his name, but he plays on Junior's Farm and Sally G. Anyway, it's a new batch for Wings members, and they do shape up to be an incredible live band, one of the best 70s live bands, I think. And so Venus and Mars as the next album is also one of my favorites. It really does feel like it's a bit of a arena rock one, even though it's got a lot of ballads I really love, like Treat Her Gently, Lonely Old People, and Call Me Back Again. Wow, incredible. Venus and Mars is totally a 10 out of 10 in my book. So there's a lot going for Wings at the Speed of Sound here. It's got some big shoes to fill, in my opinion, and it doesn't do that well, does it? Well, this is my latest vinyl acquisition, so that's why I'm ranting about it. And well, I don't feel like it's Wings' best effort at all. I feel like it's really unbalanced, and Paul really did try to make Wings feel much more like a band, which meant that he'd give some songs to be sung by some other members like Danny Lane and Jimmy. Um, Maybe it's their own songs, maybe it's Paul's own compositions, but I feel like this here makes for an uneven experience. Let's begin with side A, shall we? We've got Let 'Em In, incredible classic song. It's pure Paul. It's one of my favorites in his Got Back tour. I watched the Got Back tour 5 times here in Brazil, and it's one of my favorites. Absolutely love it. The Note You Never Wrote, vocal Danny, but I'm pretty sure it's a Paul song. I could be wrong, but I just love that one. It's got an eerie vibe, and it, it, it just puts me in a really good listening place. It feels different. It feels a bit spooky or whatever, like I'm on Silent Hill or whatever. I don't know why I feel that way. Then She's My Baby. It's a bit of a corny one, but I love its funk. And Paul, when recording Wings at the Speed of Sound, he did mention that he was trying to make a disco record, so the bass really pops and slaps, and it's got really fun bass lines. She's My Baby, it's no exception. It's funky. It's got great guitar lines by Jimmy. I really dig it, even though its lyrics are a bit corny. But you know what? Linda's Paul's baby, so fuck yeah, right? We all love Linda. Beware My Love, that's a great one. So side A is really coming hot. And I don't know if I prefer this one or Wings at the Speed of Sound. I'm sorry, Wings Over America's version. I do love them both, but it's just an epic. And John Bonham actually plays the drums on an outtake. I do prefer this one though. And the finish off with side A, it's Wino Junko by Jamie McCulloch. This is by him, and it's very much in tone with Medicine Jar, which is fantastic. I do prefer Medicine Jar, but Wino Junko is also great. And again, Wings Over America's version, I think tops this one. But wow, what a side A, really. I think it's up there with Venus and Mars. Side B though, things get a bit sketchy, and but of course it starts off with Wings, one of Wings' greatest songs, which is Silly Love Songs. Who doesn't love Silly Love Songs? It's just pure Paul. The bass line on it, holy shit, it just funks, it just pops, and it's one of those songs where we feel like Paul's total and utter genius. That's that's the least I can say about this one. It's one of my favorites by him. And but then everything kind of goes to shit, to be honest, because we got Cook of the House by Linda. Don't get me wrong, I mentioned this a minute ago. I love Linda, but what the hell is this song? This is bad. I don't like Cook of the House. It just cuts off all of the momentum of the album. Even the mixing is a bit weird. It feels like I'm listening to a 50s radio in the kitchen, and maybe that's the point. Maybe that's its intended charm. It doesn't work for me. Its vocals are bad. I'm not a Linda hater in terms of her vocals. I think they suit Paul very well, but and I love some of the songs she sings. Not this one though. This just cuts all the momentum off of the record, and I feel like it's really unfortunate placement, really. Then we have Time to Hide. It's a Denny song. I actually really do like this one. However, this version is clearly inferior to Wings Over America. I'm sorry, I keep repeating this. I much prefer Wings Over America's version. This one's cool though. From the shock that Cook of the House leaves us, it kind of doesn't pull the same punch. I feel like this song gets undermined by being placed right after Cook of the House. That's what I mean. And yeah, I'm a Cook of the House hater. I'm sorry, Paul, but I am. Then Must Do Something About It. Vocal Joe English. I don't care much for this one. There's an outtake where Paul sings it. I also don't care much about Paul singing it. I think Paul singing it just makes it a bit better, but it's whatever. It's whatever. Then we got the two closers that Paul kind of redeems himself with his classic Paul songs. We've got Saint Ferrienne, which I know for a fact John listened to it and called it a granny song. But it's a fun, jolly tune, and I feel like it's fun, so I do dig it. And Warm and Beautiful, the classic Paul ballad, and I just love it. It's beautiful, it's warm, and it's definitely a great closer. So, you know what? Please don't think I'm being too harsh on side B, on the side B for this record, but I do feel like it's a step down from everything Wings did, Ben on the Run Forward. And again, the track listing placement doesn't feel that great either. Talking a little bit about my version here. This is the Archive collection. I got it on a great deal, and I'm super happy I got it because this is the best listening experience I've had on this record. And as I mentioned, Paul was trying to do something like a disco version of Wings, and the great mixing songs here really pop. I do say that my favorite ones, production-wise, are definitely number one is City Love Songs. Again, it's like a total classic. Also, The Note You Never Wrote. The vibes are there, as I mentioned. Great production on that one. And also, Let 'Em In. These would be my three highlights, production-wise. Paul's the producer, of course. And yeah, it's a 76 record. I forgot to mention that. What do you guys think about that? Um, I love Wings Over America again. So I do like this album for being a predecessor to Wings tour over the US, right? And you know what? This album's got character, which is something that Back to the Egg, for example, doesn't. So it's not my favorite, but it's not my least favorite Wings record too. Anyway, that's the end of my rant on Wings at the Speed of Sound. What do you guys think? Please let me know down here. Thank you so much for coming, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Please let me know what you think of Wings at the Speed of Sound. We love you, Paul. Thank you so much for existing. Thank you, Paul.